What's a little bit light? Okay, that's better. What's up, party people? I just wanted to put some input to this R.Kelly situation because there's just something I'm not fully understanding. And don't get me wrong, R.Kelly should be locked up. If he had sex with that girl when he was in his 30s and that girl was like 14, 15, nah, you should have been locked up for that, bro. That was not good. And like when we first found out he married Aaliyah, we wasn't cool with that. Wasn't nobody really cool with that. But we figured maybe it was something that the parents worked out, or I don't know. Like at that time it was unheard of. So we really ain't give it the attention that we should have. Excuse me. But then when the sex tape came out, like I saw the sex tape, but I ain't really see anything strange about it except for two of the girls. One of the girls was light skin or red bone, and she was in a chair in a room, and I think he had his braids halfway done. It was halfway cornrowed and halfway not, something like that, I think. But then besides she looked kind of young, and then the dark skinned one at the end. Now when you seen her, like, yeah, she looked young, but I was not thinking 15. I'm thinking, well, maybe she's like 18. You know what I mean? I was not thinking at all that girl was 15 years old. Had no clue. But that right there, really, I thought that right there would have did him in, but it didn't. And the thing about it is, it's not that I'm discounting what the ladies are saying, and it's not that I have no sympathy for what they're going through, because to me, it's that pimp mentality. R. Kelly's using that pimp mentality, like he's keeping everybody dependent on him. Financially, emotionally, so on and so forth. And abuse in any way, shape, or form is not cool. 100%. No type of abuse is cool. But it's just from what I've seen, it just seems to me that any one of these girls could have found a chance to call home. You know what I mean? Like, from what the pictures I've seen, he done had these chicks in hotels. They walking around the city. They at his concert. And with all that going on, if you was really wanting to leave that abusive situation, why didn't any of these females get on the phone, call home to their family and be like, yo, I'm ready to come home. I want to come home. This is not good. This is not cool for me. I don't like what he's doing. I'm ready to come home. But it just seems to me like, I don't know if they stayed because he was R. Kelly, and they staying for the lifestyle and for, I guess, whatever money he's spending on them, if he's spending any. I don't know if they staying for that, or is it just like, I think they call it the Stockholm syndrome or something like that, when a captive becomes dependent on their captor and decides not to leave or don't want to leave. Or even in some domestic abuse relationships, the cops could come out, arrest the guy, but she don't want to press charges. Or if you take the woman or the man, because sometimes it is the man that's abused, but if you take the person out the home within a week, they're right back there in a situation that they know they are being abused. Now, they could keep going home hoping that they won't be abused again, but they gotta know you're being abused. So, to me, I don't know what those girls are getting out of it, but I would not say that he kidnapped them or that he's keeping them against their will. From what it seems to me, all these women are choosing to deal with this, knowing how he is. So, how much of a victim can you be if you could leave and take yourself out the situation, but you refuse to go? You choose to stay in that situation, but you want to cry about it. And like I said, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm trying to be unsympathetic, but it just seemed to me like y'all knew. A lot of these women knew. Like, even now, with everything that's come out, if R. Kelly went out into a crowd, pointed to a bunch of chicks and be like, yo, y'all come home with me. Out of 6 of those chicks, I guarantee you, at least probably 4 of them will go. Even now, with everything that done came out about him, at least 4 of them will probably still go. For what reason, I have no idea. To me, it's like the same as if there's a rapper on stage and he tells the audience, everybody that wants to suck my dick on stage, raise your hand. Now, a lot of that audience will probably tell him to kiss his ass. But I guarantee you, there will be some hands raised in that audience to come on stage and suck this rapper's dick. For what reason? Have no idea. What they getting out of it, ain't got a clue. But that's just a tough situation. And I feel for those families, because what do you do? What do you do when you see that your daughter is in that type of situation, but she don't want to leave? Like, I'm quite sure if the second any of them had picked up the phone and been like, come get me, like, no matter where they're at, they'd be like, hey, I'm tired of this. This is where I'm at. Please come get me. I highly doubt that their family would just leave them out there and be like, well, you made your bed, sleep in it. You know what I mean? So, like, even though there might have been times R. Kelly said, you know, don't call your family, or tried to keep them away from family and friends and stuff like that, but still, there was opportunities that could have easily got you out that situation. But how much of a victim are you if you choose to stay? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to be unsympathetic. I'm not trying to ignore these women's voices and downplay the things or how they was abused. But especially for the older women. Now, the young girls, they're impressionable. Understandably, they're impressionable. They're gonna see the shiny. They're gonna see the big houses, the big cars. He might be flying in private jets. They might see all that and deal with whatever they gotta deal with just to live that type of lifestyle. But for any grown woman, I say in their 30s, that's dealing with this man on this level and taking this type of abuse, how much of a victim can you be if you're choosing to be in that situation? And like I said, I seen it before in domestic abuse relationships. Like, they just won't leave each other. Like, even if they know. I had one friend who was in a toxic relationship. He knew. We was just talking about it that day. He was just sitting up there telling me that, yo, every time I'm with this girl, it ruins my life. It's always a toxic situation. I'm always getting arrested or something around this girl. I know she's bad for me. But he would sit up there and say, but I just can't leave her alone. And I'm like, dude, if you acknowledge that the situation is bad for you, that's the first step. The next step is doing something about it. And he was like, yeah, I know. I got to get away from this girl. I got to get away from this girl. She's ruining my life. All right. That was the discussion we had. Later on that night, guess who shows up at the apartment? The girl. A little bit later, after she showed up, guess what happens? The cops come because of the domestic dispute. He's taken out in handcuffs. And I'm looking at him like, dude, we just talked about this. You acknowledged how toxic the relationship was. You acknowledged that it was bad for you, and having this girl in your life only does nothing good for you. But yet, even that night, he still let her in, was sitting up there trying to deal with her. Drugs got involved. Now he's being carted off to jail. So, like, to me, with him, at that point, dude, you are not a victim, bro. You are a willing participant. Because you know what you're facing, but you do it anyway. And I don't know. Like I said, for the women that's older, I'm not sure how much of a victim they are if they're choosing to be in that situation for the sake of the lifestyle, because that's the lifestyle they want to live. As for any of the younger girls, like if he got anybody in there under 18, pull them out the house, send us behind the jail. I'm all for that. If he got anybody there 17 and under, pull them out the house, send us behind the jail. Unfortunately, 18 and up, what can you do if they don't want to leave? Yeah, it's a bad situation. Yeah, they don't like the way they're being treated. But if they refuse to go, like, what can you do? I don't know. I just really feel for the families who, haven't seen their daughters in years or months or whatever it might be. And like, personally, I stopped messing with R.Kelly after Chocolate Factory. Chocolate Factory, I've stopped buying all his merchandise. I don't even have his CDs no more. I don't have his CDs no more. I don't have his tapes no more. I don't even listen to his music no more. Dude was bad, though. It seemed like the best musicians are damaged somehow. For some reason, it seemed like that's a part of their expression. All the best musicians are somehow in some way damaged, one way or the other. But now I can't listen to any of his music without thinking he's talking about a 15-year-old girl or a 16-year-old girl. Everything they play now, because now they're doing all the videos of, going through his playlist. And I'm listening to all those songs, and I'm like, he could be talking about a 16-year-old, and it fits. He could be talking about a 17-year-old, and it fits. I don't know. That's just my opinion about it. The man does have a problem. He does need help. He definitely need to be locked up for that 14-year-old. But as you see, no matter what happens, some people are still going to support him. Like, there's serial killers that have fans. So, trying to stop R.Kelly fans, that's a hope and a dream right there. If a serial killer could have fans, or a pedophile could have fans, or a serial rapist could have fans, people still gonna come out and see Kells. So, what you gonna do? I don't know. That's all I got for now. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. One.